Hello, welcome. I hope you're having a good day. I was just about to hit the start button and then I got a delivery at my front door, so I got delayed for a couple minutes. But I'm here now and I'm ready to finish Drumeo's thing here on uh, a beginner's guide to extreme metal. So the next one that is lined up is how to approach metal beats and fills. And I have a few predictions that I want to make. The first one is he's of course he's gonna mention blast beats, which I think he's already mentioned before, but that's the alternating of bass drum and snare, with whatever combination you're doing on the right hand or on the non-snare hand. The other or another prediction I'm gonna say is he's going to say that there's gonna be a lot of fills that are just simple single stroke or double stroke rolls in a circle around the kit. And I think those are the main. I'm going to make one more prediction. He's going to mention fills like the fractional point note fills, where it alternates between hands and feet. I think he might mention those. So let's find out.
Okay, so we're going to look at approaching heavy metal beats and fills. All right, so we're going to take things like you already know or you might have already heard in contemporary music and have a look at what it sounds like when it's sped up a little bit. So a real common beat that you find in heavy metal, which draws from a different style of music, although it's the exact same thing, is the polka beat. And this term has been referred to, even back in the 80s and stuff like that. People would say, hey, that's the polka beat. The polka beat slow sounds like this.
Blast beat. Blast beats. That blast beats.
Bum. Right?
Polka is blast beat.
But
Polka
let's
is metal.
play it twice as fast. Came from a different style of music, a different genre.
That's actually really cool.
Co-opted and applied to heavy metal has a completely different effect. I would encourage you to experiment with some of the other beats that you might know.
So that's kind of interesting because, as far as I know, the earliest use of blast beats, as we understand them, are from jazz drummers back in the 30s or the 40s or something. But I could see it being where a more specific version of it, specifically with the snare and hi-hat alternating with the bass, is borrowed independently from a different genre, in the case polka. So I guess that's kind of interesting from a, music history point of view.
Be really familiar with. Try playing them a little bit faster and see what you get. The same thing applies to fills too. So we got some fills that we might otherwise know really well played slow, but if we double the speed, get a different effect. We get more of a flurry effect. So let's take something like, and I'll just incorporate the double bass pedal here just to show you how it can kind of work for you, especially when playing something fast. So I'll do right, left on the hands, and then right, left on the feet. So that gives me 6 notes.
That was one of my predictions. Not exactly the way I played it, but
that's what it is slow.
What I described.
There you go. Something you might otherwise know slow, but played up fast in a metal context just sounds really quick and devastating. Can be really cool. So again, experiment, take some of the stuff that you already know, try playing it on different surfaces, at different speeds, different tempos, and maybe along to different music, and listen at home, listen to some tracks, and just experiment, mess around with some of the stuff you already know and play it in a heavy metal context and see if it works for you. The other thing that we can have a look at is messing with the volume of what you're doing. So we looked at things like the speed variable, which makes it sound more metal, but let's look at something like something simple. All right, now let's juice up the volume, open up the hi-hats a little bit, and really brighten up and make big our sound. Boom. It has a different aesthetic quality all of a sudden because I was orchestrating it and playing it differently. Same idea with the China here. You know, nice big open sound. So let's look at a fill too. You take a fill that you might be used to playing quiet, say something like this. Right? Let's give it the same treatment. All of a sudden it has a different spirit behind it, you know? So definitely experiment with that as well. Getting a good loud sound and then also a fast sound too. Okay, so the purpose of this was not to show you a bunch of vocabulary, which we can get into in some other videos, but more so the approach that you want to take when getting into playing the heavy metal style in terms of things like speed and volume. Those are all defining characteristics of the genre. So you can accomplish that by taking some of the things that you already know, playing it louder, or playing them faster. And also to get the sound, you know, if you're used to tuning your stuff really high, you can also detune your stuff, try and get a low fat sort of tub sound out of things. Maybe crank up your snare drum just a little bit, and you'll be finding the aesthetic quality that you're looking for when it comes to playing heavy metal drums.
One of my predictions was right. So he didn't get as specific as I thought he would.
All right. The can't really be overstated. That is one of the most defining characteristics of the genre. And there's no real magic trick to it. You just need to dive in and make some mistakes, but that's all right. I'll show you your very first double bass drum beat, okay? Take what you know about playing a single stroke roll on the hands, and you just apply it to your feet. So I'm doing alternating singles, right, left, okay? So we can start with that. So get that going, get a good right and left flow going, and then we're gonna add a 2 and 4. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. When we're ready, we're gonna add that on top of the double bass. So again, start here and then add the hands on top. There you go. So again, don't get too ahead of yourself when it comes to playing other stuff like broken patterns, blast beats, or anything, you know, too next level or anything like that. This is the main meat and potatoes of coordination, the main vocabulary that you're gonna need to get your foot in the door of playing heavy metal is getting your right foot and your left foot working together and playing single strokes underneath of different hand patterns. So start simple, do something like 2 and 4 on top, or you know, your backbeat on 3, mess around, but keep that steady stream of notes going on your feet. And from then you can start to mess around and juice things up from there.
That is how I started with double bass. I would just grab songs and, whatever drums they had under them, I would just play. I would just play that for the whole song to build up stamina and try to build up my timing a little bit. And then once I built that up a little bit, I started to become a double bass groove going the whole way through. So then I had to practice a lot of drums on top of them. And like most of the time when you're learning like this, you're not in front of a camera. Most people aren't. So you can just take songs that don't normally have drums like that and play double bass on top of them, and it's a lot of fun to play. I don't know how much fun it's always to listen to, but it's always a lot of fun to play.
So another way that we can incorporate the double kick is by using it in hand-to-foot combos. So we're still creating a steady stream of notes similar to what we had on the kick drum, except instead of having it all happen on the feet, we're gonna have it happen between the hands and the feet in a steady stream, like this. And that kind of thing will help us in a couple different ways. It's a coordination challenge, and then it's also some really good vocabulary for things like fills. So we can start by doing something like 2 on the hands, 2 on the feet, they'll call it. That's what we call it here in drumland. We call it 2 on the hands, 2 on the feet. So we got right, left, foot, foot. Right, left, and then right, left on the foot. So right, left. Right? Get it good, slow. Move it around the kit. And then you can also do things like 4 on the hands, 4 on the feet. Feel free to experiment. 4 on the hands, 2 on the feet, 2 on the hands, 4 on the feet. But take it slow and get comfortable with the actual coordination of it all, and then you can move it up from there. The reason these are important things to learn is because they're really great for, again, like I mentioned, coordination, training that part of things with your body, because you're going to be doing a lot of one limb after the other kind of beats and fills and combinations when you're approaching this style of drumming. And then it also boosts your creativity when you start to think in fragmented or broken up sort of patterns between your hands and your feet, as opposed to just doing it all on your hands, playing a fill or a beat all on your hands. Then once you start to open up the possibilities of, doing a hand and then a foot and then 2 on the hands and then 2 on the feet, you start to open up a whole world of different ideas and possibilities when you expand into incorporating double bass into your vocabulary.
We got one more. We're putting it all together. Maybe.
Looked at a bunch of different aspects of heavy metal drumming. We looked at the history of it, what bands started the genre. You got bands like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, super important bands of that era. And then also, what were they listening to? What were some of their favorite musicians? Research that stuff. It's really super interesting and a lot of fun to get into. The next would be the gear. What are some of the defining features and qualities of the drums in this genre? You got big, fat sounding drums, really loud cymbals and all that stuff. And, You know, again, don't be intimidated by some of the stuff that I got around here. This is a pretty nice setup, you know. You can still accomplish a lot with what you have, with a couple maybe tuning adjustments, and even just like playing a little bit differently than you might be used to otherwise playing. The other thing to keep in mind is the role of the drummer in heavy metal too. You know, it's to still always serve the music, but you still are occupying that of a timekeeper, and you're playing loud, and in some cases you're playing fast too. So those are other things to keep in mind when you're playing the supportive role in the heavy metal genre. The other thing would be approaching the beats and fills that you're gonna be getting into, you know? You don't wanna be too timid when you're approaching some of this stuff, you know? Definitely experiment with dynamics and everything, but in general, playing really nice and loud and big and open is one of the defining features of heavy metal drumming, as exemplified by bands like Metallica, for example. Again, think Enter Sandman, you know, that's just like, that stuff isn't necessarily fast, but it's big and open and has lots of attitude to it. So there you go with that. The next would be double bass drumming. That, more than anything that I've previously mentioned, is one of the most essential tools to have in your tool belt in the modern era of metal drumming that we find ourselves in. So having the ability to be able to play alternating singles on your feet, different patterns on the hands, and having the facility to be able to incorporate the double kick in with things like linear fills and linear patterns and all this stuff is all really, really useful when you're playing with a heavy metal band or trying to learn heavy metal music as well. All right, so you might notice that we didn't show you a bunch of vocabulary that's in the heavy metal genre. The main purpose of all the stuff that I've been talking about is to just give you a good head start of playing the genre and understanding the spirit behind it, you know? Things like understanding where it came from, you know? I was talking about England in the 60s and some of the defining bands of that era, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, and all that stuff. We also had things like the gear. You know, what kind of drums do these drummers play in the heavy metal genre? You know, we're talking about big drums, low tuning, hitting them hard and making them project, having a nice deep snare drum, and having some big cymbals to create a nice big wash and a good defining bell sound and all these things. A band that you're playing with that's playing really loud guitars. Remember, you're gonna be playing music with people, or you're gonna be playing along to albums and stuff like that with really, really loud instruments going on. Your role is to maintain the flow like in any other genre, play a supportive role, but also to soar above some of the other instruments that are playing, and so you can be heard. And the best way to do that is to play nice and loud and open and free, but also really tight and methodical as well. It's a wonderful blend of all these different art forms in drumming. We also talked about some of the approaches that you can take when doing heavy metal beats and fills. So as I had previously mentioned, you know, you can take some of the things that you might already know, but try doing it with a different intent behind it, you know? Take something and play it twice as loud or twice as fast and see what kind of a result you get. But just know that you're trying to communicate a really open, loud, big sound to people, and in some instances, like a really tight and fast sound as well. But that really just depends on what you're going for. But again,
I can actually give a direct example of a field that I've actually done this with. So in Bon Jovi's "Living on a Prayer," there's a fill at the start that's something like this. Does that, and then it goes into, you know, that the pre-verse part where he's all womp 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 womp. So, but I've used that sped up tons of times in other songs, and you know, it sounds or it goes from sounding like this to. So yeah, I guess that means I should start spending more time learning songs and fills from other genres that I don't listen to as much, so that I can steal them and use them in metal.
Just try doing what you already know, just with a different aesthetic behind it.
I want to learn some Latin
Lastly,
stuff.
we
I might
talked
do a
about
Latin
the
course
double bass.
next.
You know, playing two bass drums, or playing in this case with a double bass pedal, is probably one of the most significant additions you can make to your arsenal, and getting you into playing this genre of music with actual authority and authenticity. So this might be the bigger of the challenges that you might face, because you might not necessarily be used to this kind of coordination when it comes to playing drums. But once you're past that learning curve and you start to apply it to a lot of these beats that you might be learning, it's just a next level game changer for you. So definitely it's worth your time and your investment to getting into that aspect of playing heavy metal drums. And putting them all together, you're gonna have a great head start when it comes to getting into the heavy metal genre and exploring some of the music that you might be listening and might already be listening to, or might be exposed to. So in the event that you're not exposed to too many different kinds of metal bands, I'm gonna give you a few to listen to. So we got one of the classics of all time, Metallica. You can say what you want about Lars. I don't care. I love his drumming. He did so much for the heavy metal genre in the 80s and 90s, all the way up to the present.
You do have to give it to Lars for Metallica's early success, because not only was he the drummer, he had a lot of ideas and a lot of things that he did behind the scenes in terms of both the music and the business side of it. Some parts of which are more notorious than others. But he was a bigger contributor to their sound than just his drumming.
But especially back then, you just cannot understate that guy's contribution to the music. Slayer, Rain and Blood, classic album of all time. Dave Lombardo, one of the best drummers to ever grace
the singer's vocals in that
of
band.
Heavy metal. Definitely check them out. Gene Hoglan, one of my all-time favorite drummers and mentor. All the stuff he did with Death and Dark Angel and Strapping a Lad, that is some next level stuff that is definitely worth checking out. Let's see, you got bands like Pantera, the late great Vinnie Paul. Some of his drumming is absolutely quintessential and amazing, and very, very accessible by modern day standards as well. You also have more modern bands like Gojira. Heck, you even got my band, Revocation. We've been around.
Gojira was that metal band that, I forget what event it was. It was some major thing in Europe that they performed at. I wish I could remember what it was called. But it was a big moment, because they brought like an actual real heavy metal band to what we would normally probably associate as a pop event.
Since the mid-2000s, and people tell us we're pretty good. So I'd recommend that you check out the stuff that I played on, for sure, but there's also some back catalog stuff that they did that was really great.
Maybe we'll check out some of their
stuff. Is called The Outer Ones. There's some pretty nasty drumming on there, let me tell you. So there you go. You got your little toes wet in the heavy metal genre. Now, if you're getting ready to take it to the next level and you want to dive right in and get completely soaked from head to toe like I did back when I was 12 years old, there is plenty of stuff that you can check out here in Drumeo. Things like techniques, there's play-alongs and all that kind of stuff. Lots of stuff that you can get into and apply to the heavy metal genre. So in that spirit, I'm going to play you out with one of my songs by Revocation off our latest record, The Outer Ones. It's called
This will be exciting. Got those ghost notes going on. Can just barely hear them. Like, not too far away. Oh, that was awesome. Oh, that's the kind of drumming that I absolutely love to listen to. Yeah, maybe the next thing I'll do is I'll try to find a course on Latin drumming because that's something I'm kind of interested in and something that I want to learn new rhythms from that I can incorporate into my metal drums. In the meantime, I think Give is our next Sleep Token song in the list to try and see how well I drum along to it. I don't think I did too bad there. I forgot to change scenes, but other than that, I think that went pretty good. And it was pretty fun to play along to as well, so that was good. So, give. Oop, gonna have a thing to do at work tomorrow. Cool. So, Give and Vor right now are at the top of my fun to play songs for Sleep Token. Where's my wheel? I think I'm going to spend a couple and then I'm going to go on Songster and look at their top 10 list or top 50 or whatever until I find one that I feel like trying to sight read. AWOL Nation. I forget what kind of music they do. But we're about to find out, aren't we? The ending caught me off guard a little bit. Empathy, the gift. This is definitely Opal and Sky. Oh, that was a good workout. I've changed my warm up routine, and well, I'm still kind of testing it out. I'm feeling pretty good about it, and I might talk about it in another week or two if it's still working out pretty good. All right, so let's just take a look at stuff on the top of Songster's list here for drums. Let's see. There's a few of these that I've tried before, a few of these that I haven't, some that I have tried and I can't quite do yet. Like American Idiot, I can't quite play the groove fast enough for that one yet. Or either that or I'm playing it wrong. I might be playing it wrong. I'm still trying to work that out. But other songs like Boulevard of Broken Dreams, I played that one before. But some of these I know, but I've never played. Let's see. How complicated is this one? This one? Okay, so this one's got a bit of swing to it. I might be able to read my way through this. Okay, we're gonna give it a go. I'm gonna see if I can read my way through it. And of course, I do know the song. Everyone knows the song, at least from my generation. I don't know the drum for it very well though, because I mainly remember it from Guitar Hero, which was not called Drum Hero, so I remember the guitar from it.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more. Once I rose above the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse beyond this illusion. I was soaring ever higher, but I flew too high. Though my eyes could see, I still was a blind man. Though my mind could think, I still was a madman. I hear the voices when I'm dreaming. I can hear them say, carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace
Oh man, that felt like a fake it till you make it kind of thing. I was starting to kind of get a hold of the groove that I was using, and then it threw all that stuff at the end, which I could not follow along with that very well. So I just kind of did my own thing there, trying to sound like I was following along with it. I don't know how well I did with that. That was a tough one, but it was a lot of fun. Oh, so we have. Oh, that's the favorites list. Never mind. Here we are. What else we got that I haven't tried before? At some point, I'm going to learn the Rosanna Shuffle from the Toto song. Apparently, that's a really. Now, I don't know a lot of Iron Maiden. Let me take a peek at this one. Oh, oh man, this has a level of limb independence that I'm not sure I have, and so many triplets. I still need more practice at sight reading triplets that are mixed in with non-triplet stuff, especially when it's going that fast. I don't think I can play. I don't think I can play along to this one with sight reading. I think it's too complicated. There's so many good options. I know. Here's a classic one that I haven't heard in a long time. Gun, I used to listen to Guns N' Roses because of Slash. It was, of course, a legendary. It was, of course, a legendary guitarist from the '80s. Well, that was kind of tricky, but really like what they did with that at the start. It kind of threw me off a little bit at first, and there's this so it was this kick right here. So once I started to figure out where that kick went, I think I was starting to sound like good doubles there. That was, from my perspective, playing it a really interesting thing to have to deal with. And where was it? Maybe it was in. Yeah, this section was a lot of fun to play too. Yeah. All right. Now I'm gonna do another song off the wheel because I don't feel like looking for one to play here. What do we got? Okay. I played this one a couple times, but I'm still getting to know it. A lot of fun though. And it doesn't have an annoying stupid frog. The ending caught me off guard a little bit. It's always the ending. Oh my god. The page refreshed for ads right before it was about to show the song. I hate when it does that. It's really annoying. I don't know why it doesn't do that on my iPad. Kind of weird when the darkness comes. Oh, I know this one. This one's the one that's like a. Yeah, that one.
Shadows in the street are waiting. There's no escaping. Hanging as a bumper painting a starry night. Can't you see the world is changing, disintegrating? Everything you know is gone. No, do you think you know who you are? When the darkness comes and there's nowhere you can run. If the midnight strikes and you lose your only son. When the darkness comes, la 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 la. Will you come undone? La 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 la. Thinking of running till the darkness comes. Gave up on the ember light. You mesmerized. Ashes falling from the sky. Eternal pain. The flame of chaos never dies. It justifies. Open worlds can never sky. Do you think you know who you are? When the darkness comes and there's nowhere you can run. If the midnight strikes and you lose your only son. When the darkness comes, la 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 la. Will you come undone? La 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 la. Thinking of running till the darkness comes. When the darkness comes and there's nowhere you can run. If the midnight strikes and you lose your only son. When the darkness comes, la 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 la. Will you come undone? La 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 la. Thinking of someone. Thinking of someone. Till the darkness comes.
I'm kind of playing around with that one at the end a little bit. I kind of want to. I want to start figuring out how to do more tom grooves instead of just hi hat or ride grooves. I know a couple, but I still struggle to figure out where I can fit them in. So I think I just need to start shoving them into places and see where they fit. All right. I'm going to find a heavy song to end off with. Let's see. Got so many options, but none of them are heavy enough or the right kind of heavy. You know, we'll do a death clock song. Come on. D-E-T-H. All right, we'll do the gears. Tinnitus sucks. I thought it ended 3 measures earlier than it actually did. Oh man, my legs were starting to cramp. It was making it so hard. Oh my goodness. That's my shin exercise is done for today. Whew. That is a special kind of pain. But you know, it's just part of it, right? Especially part of doing such a physical instrument. So embrace the pain. Because drums are hard. Music is hard. Be kind to yourself. Go practice and come back on